Hi everyone, my name is Seth. I write epic fantasy and science fiction under the pen name SB Sebrick. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of the mailing list for writers. This is a very simple, something that's very simple to put on a website or a Facebook page that can make a huge difference down the road as you're working in publishing and making money with your fiction. First, I'd like to point out that this is something that whether you are a traditional published author or an independent doing it yourself, you both require a mailing list. This is an absolute basic thing that any established author is going to tell you you need. I've been to multiple conventions in the last 4 years, and this is one of the recurring themes that always comes up. You need a mailing list. What that means is you have a list of emails from interested people that have already bought some of your work or are interested in buying more. Now, you can set up some very simple ways to get these. For example, on my website, I have a little contact form where people can put in their name and their email address, and that automatically goes into a list. And the next time I want to send out an announcement in a newsletter, for example, I have a book that will be available in pre-order next week, so they will be getting. I will go to the email service that I use. I'll hit start a new email. It'll open up a newsletter, and it'll automatically tag that newsletter to everyone that has subscribed to my mailing list. It starts out small, and that's why a lot of times as writers we tend to overlook it, because it's like, okay, I've got my friends from high school, a couple friends from college, these guys from the writers group. That's like what, 10, 15 people, and I mean, they want to be on my list just because they know me and everything, but I don't know if they'd actually buy one of my novels. And then we kind of glaze over it and start looking at the more dramatic ways to market. We might be looking at Facebook ads, or BookBub is huge right now, or just kind of throwing up your hands and hoping that an agent or a publishing company would take care of it for you. But even just setting up something minor on your site, like a little spot where people can sign up and it sends their email to you, it doesn't take a lot of effort. It's very simple to do, and it can make a huge difference. Also, don't overlook the value of collecting these emails face-to-face. You can be, depending on where you live, you might have book fairs in the area. I attend multiple writing conventions every year, which gives me a great chance to talk to writers and also readers, and get some of their information and add them to my lists. The basic system you want in place is readers that like your stuff have the option of being able to send you something from them so that you can track their email and therefore let them know the next time your big novel comes out. One important point, a mistake I made the first time I set this up on my website, I actually called it a mailing list. Now, if you're talking to fellow writers, publishers, they'll all say you need a mailing list. But when you're advertising that to readers, you want to say something like, subscribe to my newsletter, or don't miss my latest release. Anything like that is great. It's grandiose, it draws in the attention, it makes the reader feel like they're going to be getting something valuable, it's worth their time. But if you say, sign up to my mailing list, it sounds really dry and bland, and no one wants to just be throwing their name into a list of additional names. So a lot of times you got to keep that in mind whenever you're working in marketing, is the public perception of what you're putting out there, not just what you think it's worth. When I put up on my website, sign up for my mailing list, I thought it was perfectly fine, because I had been hearing people use the mailing list term all the time at conventions for a couple of years at that point. But sure enough, the emails were not coming in. I checked the system a couple of times to see if it was actually working. I thought that I'd done something wrong, and people were trying to sign up and nothing was happening. Nope, no one was signing up. But as soon as I window dressed it a little bit and put in subscribe to my newsletter, the emails are trickling in now. I've talked to some that get an email a day from their mailing list. Some make more. I'm not up to that level yet. I'm working at it. But all of those, each one of those emails goes straight to your email list, and it's another possible sale you can get the next time you put out something that they'll want to buy. There are a lot of services out there for paid or free that will manage your list for you. If you're really a control freak, I started my mailing list as just a Word document. And whenever someone would send me their email, I would just copy and paste it and add to the list. Right now I'm using a system called MailChimp, which is the #1 recommended one that I've heard about for years. Any convention I go to, if you mention a mailing list, they will say MailChimp. Not only are they very user-friendly, and it's pretty easy to figure out how to use their stuff, but they're also free up until you have 2,000 subscribers. And let's face it, when you have 2,000 people that are waiting for your next book, you will be making enough money to afford your own paid account for an email service. This right here is the foundation of how these best-selling authors will come out with a new book and right from the get-go will make thousands of sales. As an example of this, I'm attaching a link below this video for, his name's J.A. Konrath. He writes thriller. He's kind enough to do a blog post and show an actual screenshot of his Amazon sales. Now I try to make this this channel as much of use for traditional published writers as for indie. So try to see this as just an example of having that mailing list and what can come of it. He is an independent author and he does it all himself with a couple of other people that he hires out. And if you're interested in that, I highly recommend following his blog because he's got a lot of information along those lines. But in 3 weeks on Amazon, he made $100,000. And when you look to the screenshot, he actually posts it on his blog, you'll see that one title in particular has over 11,000 sales in 3 weeks. The way the market works, you don't just put out a novel and 11,000 people happen to accidentally click on it and like it. The odds of that happening, you might as well dance in a thunderstorm for the rest of your life because you're not going to get hit by lightning at those odds. But when you're maintaining a mailing list and you get 2,000 people, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 people that are all waiting for your next book, and then you email them right before it comes out, that is how you can make thousands of dollars off of just one novel. So however you want to maintain your readers' attentions, however you want to get some of their information, the ones that want to hear about your next novel, find the way that works best for you. But I really like having a passive system put together on my website that doesn't take a lot of maintenance and I can just tap into it whenever I want it. But you need to find some way to keep track of those readers that want more of your stuff. Because when you do, and you get a high enough list, that is where you can really get to that point that you write full-time. I hope some of this information was helpful for you. Feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. Particularly, if, I'm not sure if I'll do it this week, possibly next week. I might do a tutorial of MailChimp if anyone asks, so I can show you some of the basics of how to get everything set up on your site. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more of these videos. I hope you're having a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.